Dude, the FedEx guy pulled a gun on me. Where are we going?
Buckle up.
So I was right in my bed and I just kind of fell into the ground. Even when you rent something, things go wrong.
That is true.
That is
Free content, baby.
free content, baby. So he's putting a frame in this rental for us because our bed won't stay up.
You know, I do want to say, Andrew at Cruise America, he was very helpful. And, you know, they're going to reimburse us for all this stuff. Yeah, I was pretty pleased, you know. We made the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It rocks here. Careful now. All right.
Along with the beautiful morning, we all didn't have our coffee.
So this is the Buckland Museum, named after Raymond Buckland, the famed writer on witchcraft. He came to the US in the early 60s. He settled in Long Island. He'd come from London. He starts seeking something spiritual and he discovers the work of Dr. Gerald Gardner. Gerald Gardner, the founder of modern Wicca. Ray gets intrigued, he gets his initiation, and he founds the first Wiccan coven in the United States, as well as the first museum of witchcraft. And that is what we have on display here.
Interesting. So where did you start with this collection?
Well, we saw a bit of an opportunity about 5 years ago where this collection was just kind of laying in rest, waiting to be revived. We grew and grew, and now we've been in this location for about 2.5 years.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I love this place. It looks real good.
Well, let me show you some of the pieces here. So the majority of the things that we have here on display are pieces that were collected by our founder, Raymond Buckland. Here we have the first tools used by a Wiccan coven in the United States. A favorite would be the crescent moon headdress here, worn by the first American Wiccan high priestess, also known as Rosemary Buckland. Ray's first affame, or afame, or athame, or his ritual dagger. World War II commando knife, but Ray inscribes with magical symbols and it becomes his ritual dagger.
Okay.
Here we have things that go back to Gerald Gardner and the Isle of Man. Many people know our founder, Raymond Buckland, is a authority and writer on witchcraft. Here, this book is now in its 56th printing, over 600,000 copies sold. I always love showing the original handwritten manuscript. One of my favorite pieces being Oberon Zell's Verendum, famous wizard. It is his magical staff. He was here about 2 years ago. The whole time I felt like I was being a bit inspected because the last time he saw this collection was 1970. Well, I guess I passed his test. His apprentice wizard wandered in a few months later, carrying this beautiful staff here. He said, Oberon sent me here on a quest to present you with Pathfinder, his beautiful Verendum, his magical staff. Isn't it beautiful?
It's gorgeous. It is.
One of my absolute favorite pieces is this crystal ball, owned by Sybil Leek, who was a very famous witch and fortune teller back in the 60s. My mother recognized Sybil Leek's name when she came to our opening, and she said, "This is what you have here."
What were crystal balls mainly used for?
Well, you can use them for scrying, and there's a lot of different devices that you can use for scrying, but crystal balls are very traditional for it. It's the classic look of the fortune teller gazing into it. Maybe you see futures or pasts. It's a form of meditation where images can form inside of it. We could also use mirrors. I have a really beautiful Victorian gazing mirror right over here. This was given to us by a guest a couple years ago. Of course, we have the half shell here representing Venus or Aphrodite. And then we have the great god Pan here, often associated with our beloved horned god of the witches. So maybe a Beauty and the Beast thing going on here. Scrying mirrors are extremely popular still to this day. I mean, you look at something like this, it's essentially obsidian glass. It's almost like the monolith from 2001, and we see images as we stare into these, right?
Right.
I have a couple other examples over here that are really beautiful. This one was owned by a fortune teller down in Columbus, a witch named Deb. Really love this one, it's very beautiful. This one over here is our founder Raymond Buckland's personal one. So of course that one's extraordinarily significant to this collection. And we have one that's buried in the corner there. Yeah, that one has very strange tendencies to it, so we keep it buried for other people not to really gaze into. We have an herbalism section back here. We have what I refer to as the 6660s.
Yeah, actually, this is, I think, one of the same artists that did work on Santana's, one of Santana's album from like the early 70s, I think, as far as all of that, that Lion's Head. So what I got, Moody Blues, Abba Zaba, which is a, what was that? It was an old taffy, I think. Yeah, what do we got? Look at this. H.P. Lovecraft with Donovan.
Oh, nice.
What?
Looking at palmistry and mystic prophet, mystic hand. I'm into spirituality, so like this is like, I guess this is the spiritual wall, spiritualism.
We have a lot of examples of talismans, charms, and amulets over in this case over here. So talismans, magical objects often worn on a person, and typically objects that are inscribed with some way with names of power, symbols, and so on. The one on the left is Poseidon, and there's a very wonderful photo of our founder, Raymond Buckland, wearing it. And then we have an eyeball ring, we have some sacred geometry, we have some kind of horned god, a wolf. The most powerful type of amulets are ones that are given to you by loved ones. For example, here I have a ring that was given to me by my beloved Jillian, and I always feel safer when I leave the home wearing that ring.
So, Steven, can you tell me what is sacred geometry, and when does that occur? When do you see that in life?
Well, you'll see a lot of fractals, for example. Fractals in nature, you see the way that ferns grow. A lot of this stuff comes back to Pythagoras, the math magician, I guess I should call him, from the Donald Duck Disney math film. That's where I learned that Pythagoras had a pentacle, which is the most sacred of all geometric forms for the Wiccans. He had those on his hands, and it was a way for members of the Pythagorean cult to know who each other were. It's a symbol that kind of blends the idea of like nature and math. And you see things in like microcosms and macrocosms. For example, when you cut an oak, you'll find a pentacle inside of that.
Sure. That's also a part of the golden ratio, is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the golden ratio is a wonderful example of sacred geometry.
Fantastic.
Up here we have tracing boards that were designed by Lady Frida Harris, who was actually Aleister Crowley's tarot deck designer. And these are the things that Freemasons would use to explain the different degrees that you go through. And of course with Freemasonry you find all sorts of elements of sacred geometry.
I'm sure there's many a sect here in Indiana.
We're in Ohio.
Or Ohio. There we go. So, Steven, can I ask you a little bit more about Aleister Crowley? Who is he?
Well, Aleister Crowley, it's actually Crowley as in unholy. He was a mystic mountaineer poet. His magical motto of "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've heard that before? Well, great influence on our culture. The hippies thought he meant like, just do whatever you want, man, far out. but it's much more nuanced than that. Through meditation and ritual, find out who you really are. But because the hippies loved them, you'll find them on the cover of Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles. We do have a piece up here that I acquired. It's called the Guardian Angel. It was created by an artist named H.R. Giger. And if you don't know who H.R. Giger is, I do have a teaching prop. So this entity right here.
The Ridley Scott action.
Every day I come in and I thank her for guarding over me and my guests for the rest of the day.
It's an amazing piece. Looks very robust from here.
No, it's gorgeous.
Show me another one of your favorites.
Well, right above your heads are some spirit trumpets. These right here you use in seances. Perhaps if you have a very powerful medium, you can have them float around in the air.
So, Steve, what would you say the difference is between witchcraft and Wicca?
Well, I guess here we're going to go into a bit of a controversy, but Wicca itself is, of course, witchcraft. So I always like to say it's almost like Christianity, right? Where you have, all Catholics are Christian, just not all Christians are Catholic, correct? Right. So all Wiccans are witches, just not all witches are Wiccans. Wiccans, well, we tend to revere at least a goddess, but also we tend to lean towards a horned god, a god of the hunt, a god of the wild. We know what that looks like, but it's not. You know, this isn't somebody telling us to do terrible things. Whenever we jaywalk, it's our own poor decision making. And you know, of course, a goddess of life. We revere life, animals, rivers, oceans, humans, fields, crops. That's really one of the key things that Wiccans tend to revere. We don't really necessarily have the concept of hell. Okay, yeah. We believe in an idea of an afterlife. The Wiccans believe in the idea of the Summerlands. And you know, think about it, Summerlands, an eternal summer. And this is a religion that comes back from England. And of course, a gray, gloomy place like England, of course, where would you want to spend the rest of your times? Out in a summer field, right? So hell, I think hell is what you make. It's just not really in our cosmologies.
Would you be able to debunk the misconceptions of all witches being evil?
You know, I can't really speak for every witch out there. All I know is we're very good vibes types. We believe that what we put forth in the universe, we get back. So you tend not to go around hexing people. We have the belief that the greatest magic is an idea of healing, good energy, positive vibes. So this is a protection circle. It's our museum safe space.
Okay.
And, you know, there's nothing that can get you here. And if you want to shed something, maybe close your eyes. All right? Now, can you imagine, like, let's see. With this hand here, can I touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, raise up 2 fingers. Reach to the top. Feel like there's a cosmic glowing orb above you. Something gooey, almost filled with honey. Drag it down. Pull it down to your 3rd eye. Okay.
Oop, missed.
All right, now bring it down to your chest. All right, bring it over to the shoulder here and drag it across here. Okay. Now, put your hand down. Okay. Now breathe. Maybe count down from 10. If you want, I could help you with that. 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. So now you're kind of in the zone, right? Just imagine your body has become light. The light is just growing, just pulsing out of you. And it's radiating out of you. It's getting disintegrated into cosmic shards that are just burnt embers. Just keep pushing it out. All right. Okay. Count backwards from 3. 3, 2, 1. Now open your eyes. You are now living in a world without that thing attached to you.
I could feel the energy right when I stepped in the middle, like something was tingling.
That's right.
Anyone else care to try it?
Yeah, it's lit above.
All right, so right above your head, let's imagine that there's a glowing orb of gooey light. Take this, can I touch you? Take this hand, raise your 2 fingers above, reach up, pull it down to your 3rd eye at the center of your forehead. All right, now bring it down, just right down here. Okay, touch your belly. Move it to the shoulder here. And then bring it to the shoulder here. All right. Imagine your body is filled with a light. Okay. Bring this hand down. You can open up your hands, your palms. Okay. So now your body is completely immersed in light. You are part of the light. Feel a pulse coming through you. Okay. Any kind of negativity that you've picked up recently is going to come out of you. Just waves of light, obliterating the negativity, shredding it, sending it out to the nether reaches of the cosmos where nothing can ever come back from. All right, now we're going to count down from 3, 3, 2, 1. Now open your eyes. How do you feel? Relaxed? Feel good?
Yeah, relax.
Feel like you can take on the rest of the day?
Yeah. Growing up, you know, it's the saying of not having anyone.
So you're saying he's superstitious, right? And he's imagining invisible forces are messing with him. What are you doing? You're giving him bunny ears. Maybe there's a reason for you to feel a certain kind of, keep an eye on this one.
You haven't always been superstitious, have you?
I have.
You have. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering.
Fresh out the womb, you know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, you know. Step on a crack, or
Oh yeah.
you know, the broom hitting your feet. Which that one I don't understand. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I don't know that one, but
Okay.
What is it?
It's like if the broom brushes your feet, then you're supposed to spit on it and put it away.
I have not heard that one, but
Yeah.
whenever I'm brooming, every time I'm sweeping, I imagine that probably happens to me. So
Or
maybe I have some work to do.
or splitting poles.
Yeah, when you split a pole.
So it's you veer off the path that you're on. If
Yeah.
you're with a group of people and if one person splits a pole,
Yeah.
then you guys aren't on that same path anymore.
Really?
I mean, it's.
I would think that you all are fluid and you're just going through. But I don't write the superstitions.
Word, yeah.
Yeah. So you've grown up with all sorts of superstitions, and these are things that affect your daily life. Now I have to wonder, there's a reason why you're not supposed to go under a ladder. Something could fall and crack your head open. So, but so you have 7 years bad luck for that or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
it's also a way to tell you just don't go under the ladder. Something could fall and hurt you, and you could, have physical ailments for 7 years going forward.
Oof.
So, a lot of that stuff is based on, protection
Yeah.
in one way or another. I carry around a few different. What does Michael from The Office say? I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. Maybe consider if you're.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe go forward with that kind of idea.
Right.
You
And
know?
slowly but surely, get it up out of me.
Yeah.
And thank you for that.
Well,
And I appreciate this as well. I do feel a whole lot better.
nice.
Not that I felt any type of way. Now I feel.
We try to have very good vibes for our guests that come in here,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's, these are anxious times that we live in. It's very difficult to, it always feels like everything in the world out there is, it's hard to stay positive sometimes these days. and we try to have a positive experience for our guests in here. So.
Yeah, I won't forget about this. Oof.
I think that was a good closing line. Matt? What do you think? Good closing line? All right. All right, guys. Thanks to Steven at the Buckland Museum of Magic and Witchcraft. Best small museum I've ever been to so far. Any closing thoughts?
Absolutely amazing place. I mean, this is beyond mysticism. And to be able to be in the middle of it all, you could spend all day here.
Yeah, I like the good vibes, the positivity, the feels I have right now, the feels I know I'm going to have when I'm leaving. I really enjoyed this place. I recommend it to anyone visiting Cleveland.
Yeah, so next time you're in Cleveland, do yourself a favor and stop by the Buckland Museum of Magic and Witchcraft, and you can get lost in this museum all day. It's a very small museum, but you could get lost here all day. Please hit that like and subscribe, comment below, and tell us where you want us to go next.
Oh, hi, Susie.
It's cool in here. I got a t-shirt.
Great place to buy a t-shirt, magnets, anything. Just stop by here, guys. It's like the coolest paranormal, type museum I've been to. There is a demon in this box. There is a demon in this box, ladies and gentlemen.